Hello, welcome to Vokèra's London Colony Training Centre. I'm David Ischak, a technical trainer. In this short video, we'll discuss the delta T function of the circulator in our Unica MAX range of boilers. As with most modern boilers, our Unica MAX range has a modulating circulator, a pump that will adjust its output dependent on system operating conditions. One of the features the Unica MAX offers that other boilers do not is a delta T pump, a pump that will modulate its output to achieve a temperature differential across the flow and return thermistors. Why would we want a delta T pump? Under certain conditions and certain installations, the boiler may be operating a lot at higher temperatures. If it's operating at a high flow temperature, we can still get the boiler into its condensing areas where it becomes more efficient by widening the delta T, the temperature differential between the flow and return settings. So what happens is the boiler operates towards the maximum output temperature, but it will modulate the pump to maintain the maximum differential between the flow and return, so the boiler's in a condensing mode more often. As operating control systems for condensing boilers are now leaning towards lower flow temperatures, that narrows the headroom where this feature may be useful, but it's a feature that can be helpful. As I mentioned earlier, the circulator, as delivered in the boiler, will modulate to moderate a flow across the heat exchanger. We want to use the delta T function to maintain a wider differential as possible. We do that in our boiler parameters. The delta T function is enabled in the pump duty cycle parameter. We can adjust the pump performance in that parameter. We can also set a delta T temperature across the flow and return thermistors of the boiler. And we'll do that now. This is the circulator performance chart for the Unica MAX circulator, 7 metre head circulator. This is the residual head. This is the head that's available from the pump after overcoming the internal resistances of the boiler itself. The default setting is 85. So what this means is the pump will operate in between these settings, 85 and 41. We can choose a number anywhere between here, and the pump will operate on a curve. So if you chose 65 or 50, the pump will be operating on a slightly different curve. It can be increased to 100, so the pump can operate maximum speed. We actually want to set a delta T setting for the pump. These are the numbers that are used to alter the range of modulation. We want to set a delta T setting, so we choose a number below 41. We'll choose a number between 10 and 20. 20 is an ideal number for a condensing boiler. If we choose 20 in the pump duty cycle setting, the pump will endeavour to hold a delta T across the heat exchanger of 20 degrees. If you want 15, set the pump duty cycle to 15. 10 degrees, set the pump duty cycle to 10. Let's set the circulator duty cycle, the pump duty cycle, to give us a delta T of 20 degrees across the boiler flow and return thermistors. To do this, we need to make adjustments to boiler parameters. So highlight menu, press enter. The user settings are no good to us. We need to go to installer settings. And to do that, we press and hold both the lower buttons until a password is requested. The password is 18. Press OK to enter. We now have a technical menu. Enter. We now need to look into parameters. Enter. Pump duty cycle is the second option. Enter. Default as delivered is 85, so the boiler would operate around 80, the pump would operate around 85% of its output. We want a delta T of 20, so we simply reduce that figure to 20. This is not a percentage of the pump output, this is a target for the pump to achieve across the flow and return thermistors. If you wanted 15, you would set 15. Once you've got the delta T you require, press OK, press confirm you want to change that parameter, and we're done. Use the back button to return to the main screen. Now the boiler will endeavour to hold 20 degrees, but as valves open and close, as system components change or the hydraulics across your heating systems change, it will vary, but that's what the target for the boiler is. I hope this information has been useful. Thank you very much.